Welcome to the ultimate data showdown. This is Iron Viz. Hundreds of data whizzes from around the world competed to be here, and the stakes are high for the three finalists at the top of their game as they prepare to push themselves to creative extremes. How will they be judged? On three criteria: design, storytelling, and analysis. Sparks and insights will fly as they furiously race the clock and go dashboard to dashboard to be crowned best in Viz. Who will win bragging rights? Stay tuned to find out.
Hello and welcome to Iron Viz 2023. Please welcome to the stage your hosts for the event, Andy Kochgrieve and Archana Ganeshalangam.
Hello! Woohoo! Holy cow. All right. Hello and welcome to Iron Viz. My name is Andy Kochgrieve. I'm Tableau's Senior Data Evangelist, and I am delighted to be here hosting my 6th Iron Viz. Yes! Let's hear it, come on!
And my name is Archana Ganeshalangam, Solution Engineering Program Manager. And after being stuck at home with COVID last year, I'm so excited to finally be here as a first-time host.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. It's brilliant to have you here, Archana. Now, did you know this is my 14th year attending a Tableau conference?
14, wow,
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Do you know how many t-shirts that equates to? It's a lot. But I'm just as excited as I was back in 2010. Archana, I have a question. Do you think this audience is as excited as me?
I don't know, Andy, let's find out. Audience, are you excited to be here? I mean, this is my first time, so you're gonna have to tell me, what do you think?
I think that was pretty good. But I think you've got more in the tank for when the contestants come on in a moment. I want to hear louder. So let's keep the energy going and rising. And shall we get on with the competition?
Let's do it. I'm ready to see some Vizzing action. To the audience here in Las Vegas, we're so happy to have you.
Yeah, and to all of you tuning in live on Salesforce Plus, hi Mum, hi Dad, thanks for joining. Wherever we are here with the best and brightest in the Viz biz. You're going to see contestants go head to head in the world's preeminent data visualization competition.
That's right. It's 2023, and this is
Iron Viz! Come on! It's all right? This evening, you will witness 3 contestants battle head-to-head to compete the best visualization they can in just 20 minutes. They will then each have 3 minutes to tell us all their data story. Our esteemed panel of judges will score them on 3 criteria: design, analysis, and... Somebody was watching the pre-show. And this year, Iron Viz, we've set a particularly timely challenge for our contestants.
It's no secret that climate change is an issue deeply impacting our planet. From flooding to wildfires to increasingly intense hurricanes and typhoons. Climate change impacts every individual, every company, every nation, and it disproportionately affects the poorest and most vulnerable communities, amplifying global inequality.
Yeah, but as data people, we can shed light on these issues. Tonight's data set covers the global impact of environmental sustainability, and it comes from Net Zero Tracker, CDP, and NASA Power.
Our finalists had just 1 month to dig into the data to present to you live on the Iron Viz stage in a dazzling display of data visualization.
Yeah, one member of the incredible data fam is going to be crowned the 2023 Iron Viz champion.
The winner receives not only the coveted Iron Viz trophy, but they'll be going home with $1,000 in prize money, plus a $5,000 donation to the charity of their choice.
Second place is $2,000, $5,000, sorry, and $2,000 to their charity.
And third place will go home with $2,000 cash and a $1,000 donation to the charity of their choice. Like Andy mentioned, our contestants will be judged in 3 areas: design, analysis, and storytelling.
That's right. But, Archana, we have a vast audience in front of us. How will they be able to get involved?
Don't worry, Andy, the audience will get to vote too. Now, this year, we have a brand new element of Iron Viz that your votes will determine, the fan favorite.
Woo.
Stay tuned for a little more information later on in the show about how all of you can make your voice heard.
Yeah, and of course, we love hearing what hearing your thoughts on social media, so don't forget, #IronViz.
Now, it's about that time to meet the stars of this competition. No, not you, Andy. I'm talking about our Vizzes, of course. These 3 contestants competed in a games-themed feeder competition late last year, and each will be representing a different global region. Andy, care to do the honors?
Absolutely, Archana. First up, coming from Brisbane, Australia, let's meet Paul Ross.
Hello, Data Fam. I'm Paul, or should I say, G'day, Data Fam, because I am from Australia. And we really do say that here. I'm very lucky to live on Queensland's beautiful Gold Coast in a town called Surfers Paradise, which might sound like a made-up name to non-Australians, so like a true data professional, I've included some footage of some signs. I don't actually surf, but I do like to start each day with a walk along the beach to breathe some ocean air, do some exercise if I'm feeling energetic, and then jump in the water to cool off. So this is my desk at home where the Tableau magic happens. Right now, my favorite Tableau feature is probably dynamic zone visibility because of all the interesting design possibilities it opens up. Very proud to represent Australia. For the 2nd year in a row, we have an Aussie on the Iron Viz stage. Shout out to Kimberly. Also representing my very patient and supportive partner. I'm also representing all the Tableau newbies watching out there. If I can qualify, then everybody should give it a go. This year's topic is environmental sustainability. And that's why I've chosen the Nature Conservancy as my charity. They tackle climate change on a global basis, and the great work they do is becoming more and more important every day. Iron Viz has been this incredible, unexpected journey, and winning would be an epic finale to an epic quest.
Woohoo! All right, here he is, live and in person. Let's hear it for Paul!
From Tavares, Florida, let's meet Brittany Rosenau.
Here is my workstation. On the left, I usually have music or for video calls. Tableau happens on the big screen in the middle, and on the right, I usually have notes and things like that. For fun, I spend way too much time sitting at this computer, but when I'm not, I enjoy taking care of my plants, fish, fiddler crabs, and I enjoy reading and puzzles. I've been using Tableau since 2019. This year I'm very proud to be a Tableau Public Ambassador. Some of my favorite features include all the custom color palettes you can make using custom shapes, and I love that everything is as easy as drag and drop. This year is my 3rd year entering Iron Viz. I did not expect to get anywhere close to this far, so I hope this is encouraging for anyone who is just starting to pick up Tableau. If I can do it, so can you. My charity is the Nature Conservancy. They support conservation all over the globe, including 4 nature preserves right here in Florida. Florida is experiencing rapid population growth. I'm hoping that that can be balanced and done sustainably so future generations can also enjoy the beautiful nature. Being on stage is the last place I ever expected to be and is way outside my comfort zone. If I were to win, that would be absolutely nuts. I never expected to get this far. So just the fact that I'm here competing on stage in Vegas is a win for me.
Help me welcome Brittany to the stage.
Go, Brittany. Woohoo! Look. I am loving the custom Brittany rah-rah tails there. Fantastic stuff. Okay, last but not least, let's meet from London, England, Nirosh Perera.
Hi, my name's Nirosh and I live in a town called Hoddesdon. There's plenty of places to go on nice walks and be close to nature. In my free time, I try to keep active, going on bike rides, playing sports, football, tennis, golf with my friends. I'm also keen on painting, particularly abstract painting. I was introduced to Tableau whilst working at the Walkie Talkie. I didn't have a technical background, so to be able to create something very simply that was visual and useful and interesting was something that I found genuinely exciting. So this is my workstation. It's fairly minimalist aside from my lucky sheep where I've got a couple of books, the people that I'm representing in the competition, my parents, my grandparents and my godparents. I've chosen to support the charity Habitat for Humanity. Their vision of a world where everyone has a decent place to live is strikingly simple to the point where I question why it isn't true already. It's an honour and something that still is a bit of a shock to me that I can call myself an Iron Viz finalist. If I do win, it will certainly be one of the greatest achievements, if not the greatest achievement of my life.
All right, let's hear the biggest welcome you can muster. Give it up for Nirosh. Oh, I love custom swag. Everybody who's got custom stuff, you're legendary. All right, contestants, welcome to the stage. Paul, all the way from Australia. Do you wallaby the best in data viz today with some quality dashboarding?
Yes, Andy, I do.
And Brittany, all the way from the Sunshine State, aren't you excited to bring the heat?
The temperature might be hot, but I'm feeling pretty cool.
And fellow Londoner, Nirosh, we just crowned King Charles last weekend. Are you going to be the king of data viz today?
Well, let me tell you this, Andy. I'm not waiting 74 years to be crowned king.
Oh, we're here all day. Wonderful. Now, we couldn't send our contestants into the unknown without any support. We make sure they've got the best backup in the Viz biz. Working alongside each contestant is their trusted advisor and mentor, their sous-viser. The sous-visers are long-standing members of the Tableau community, and they're providing expertise and moral support that our contestants need.
The sous-visers are not only rooting for their finalists, they'll be providing some insightful commentary during the 20-minute build. So let's bring them out.
We shall. Okay, give it up. First up for Team Paul, it's Nina Nguyen from Sydney, Australia. From Twinsburg, Ohio, supporting Brittany, it's Mark Bradbourne. And finally, fellow Londoner, all the way from England, supporting Nirosh, it's Alison Whitaker.
Now, this next group has the difficult task of choosing this year's winner. Let's introduce our incredible judges. First up, last year's champion, Will Sutton.
Next up, it's Director of Tableau Publics, Taha Ibrahimi.
And last but certainly not least, someone who's not only been around since the beginning of Iron Viz, but the beginning of Tableau itself. This judge did pioneering research that impacted the entire data visualization field. He coined the term information visualization and even created Tableau's Show Me button, which I know you all know and love.
I certainly do. It is esteemed 14-time Iron Viz judge here to make his final judging appearance because he's taken a very well-deserved retirement. Please welcome to the stage the legend, Dr. Jock McKinley.
Jock, you were there for the very first Iron Viz. You're now here at your 14th. We are seriously gonna miss you. Now, with that, I think it's time to get vizzing.
I think so.
Contestants, you have 20 minutes to get your builds done.
You're about to go head-to-head in the ultimate battle of data visualization skills. Are you all ready? Thumbs up. Love it.
All right, everyone here and at home, count down with me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Iron Viz!
Woo-wee. Wow, Archana, they're off.
A little water break for us.
I need a little bit of water. This is hard work. So, what are we seeing? It looks to me like Brittany and Nirosh are getting on with formatting. They're doing the global formatting. Those of you new to Tableau, you can set all your formatting choices at the start of working with the workbook, and then everything else just flows quickly and easily from there. So, are we fans of global formatting?
We are. Anything to save clicks makes all the difference on the Iron Viz stage. And actually, speaking of global formatting, I actually have a tip.
A tip?
Give you even
Excellent.
more clicks.
The audience are hungry for tips, right? Yes, come on, Archana.
So when you are doing your global formatting, always start from the bottom and work your way up through those drop downs, because your mouse is always above that next click, so you don't have to keep clicking in and out of each drop down.
She's earned her place on stage already, I say. Nice work. Mark, it looks like Brittany's gone straight into visualization with 420 marks on a single bar chart. Is that too many marks?
It all depends, Andy. You should know that better than anybody here. But what we're going to do with that visualization, actually use it to bookend the story that she is going to masterfully wield for the audience today.
I like it. Ooh, cool.
Now, I can see on screen that Paul has switched over to a dark background. Nina, can you tell us a little bit more about this design choice?
Sure can, Achana, but before that, I'd like to say good morning, Australia. It's 9 a.m. for us for the first time for Iron Viz. And yes, so this was a critical design decision for Paul. We're talking about environmental sustainability, and we're talking about power generation. So against that backdrop, you're going to find Paul's story quite illuminating.
All right.
I like that.
Love it. Now, look at Nirosh. Who remembers 2019, the incredible Lindsay Poulter drag and drop creator calculation trick? Yes, those of you who weren't there, nobody knew Tableau could even do this. You could put text in a big text box and just drag it along to make calculations. We heard a gasp, right?
Yeah, I was in the audience somewhere back over there, and I saw Lindsay do that trick, and this entire room just erupted with gasps. I don't know if there's a software out there that people get so jazzed about.
I know, I certainly do. Mark, we've gone for a color palette that appears to be called blue, gray, yellow. That certainly isn't data related, is it?
It's really just for speed. You know, the calculation, it's just a placeholder, really, that we can assign the colors as quick as possible.
Ah, all right, just a
Now,
placeholder.
speaking of color palettes, Andy, do you have a favorite?
I like orange and blue. As Jock knows, orange and blue is super contrasting. In fact, you are sporting the most amazing orange and blue palette today. Congratulations.
In the nails.
Yeah. How about you? Yes, give it up.
For me, I like Superficial Stone. It's one of the Tableau default color palettes. Got a good range of colors, but they're muted, so they're easy on the eye.
Yeah, those palettes were named after some of our developers who are leading experts in color theory. So, in fact, Jock, do you remember that? Do you remember the color palettes being named? And who led all our color theory in Tableau's development earlier?
Yeah, so Marine Stone, that's Superficial Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's an expert on color, and she did all our colors for us.
Cool.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now, I'm looking at Brittany's data set, and it's looking pretty small. Nirosh and Paul both have lots of dimensions, lots of measures. Mark, where's Brittany's data gone?
So prior to her getting to Viz, she figured out the actual data points that she needed. So when she was prepping the data, she made sure that those were the fields she had, and it's advantage in two ways. One, she's not trying to find multiple dimensions, she's just grabbing what she needs, and in the end, it's gonna perform great.
Saving clicks and time.
There's nothing wrong with saving clicks. Nina, we're going neon green. Can you give us a little bit of what's with the bright colors?
Sure, Paul's really deliberate about his color use this time, and he's choice of really punchy, bright colors really draws on that the theme of energy generation. So he's going to use that to show you a world that is lit up. So you're going to see that.
Cool, thank you.
Amazing. And I want to jump over to Alison. We've not spoken to you yet. Tell us more about the chart that Nirosh is building right now.
Yeah, sure. So this particular chart, although at the moment it may look like an ordinary scatter plot, it's actually a ternary chart. We're going to see exactly what that means a bit later on in the build.
I like that, saving the secrets for later.
Who's built a ternary chart before? Oh, Jock, you've built one, you've built one, you've built...
There's
anybody
3
at the
people.
front? No,
3 people for the ternary chart.
Yes, it's all in triples. What should we do next? I know, we can... There it is.
There it is.
Mark, why are your bars floating? And why are they going colorful, right? What's happening with Brittany's floaty bars?
So what Brittany's doing here is actually building a waterfall chart. And we're going to use that to really frame the story when we're starting to talk about net zero. So really, this is going to be illustrative of what we're doing in our story.
Now, that's not a standard chart type, though, right?
It is not a standard chart type.
So how is Brittany doing it?
So with this, we actually did a bit of scaffolding because it's not really a true representation of data here. We're actually just using it to really illustrate an abstract concept.
Cool.
So when I talk about scaffolding, it's really just fake data, it's placeholder data.
Yeah. So just the people who are here who are new to Tableau, hopefully you're getting some really cool tips and tricks here. You know, these guys are masters, but they're also showing you in just 20 minutes how productive you can be with just drag and drop.
Yes, and if you want to learn more...
Mark's waving at me. Hi, Mark.
Hi.
Seeking attention again.
I know, I'm sorry. But I just wanted to show that this is another example of scaffolding. So here we've scaffolded this target, which is going to show the cities who are kind of underperforming, those who are kind of in the middle, and then those who are performing 75% or greater to their goal.
So it's not a colorblind...
No, it's not. No, there's no number there.
Now, before we jumped over to Mark, I was about to tell you all about Trailhead.
Trailhead, yes.
Trailhead, yes. So if you are curious and want to learn more about data viz best practice, learn more about Iron Viz, head on over to Trailhead. It's Salesforce's free learning platform where you can complete tasks and collect those badges and get Ranger status.
Yeah. Have you done the Iron Viz quest yet?
Yes, I have. How about you, Andy?
I still haven't done it.
I think you can pass. I'm confident. Otherwise, we might not see you here next year.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. Right, we've got two dark maps on screen now. Nina, can you tell us about the map Paul's building? Is he going to stick with the default circles, or what's
No, he's going to add some custom shapes that he's made himself using PowerPoint. Paul's really big on really simple, handy tips that he can share with you all today. And one of those is certainly using PowerPoint to create custom shapes and different graphics for you to use to supplement or complement your data visualization. So.
All right, cool. And Alison, yes.
Yeah, so something really cool is happening here right now. So Nirosh is building a stacked bar chart. He's going to use a table calc and kind of an unused feature on the pages shelf. And some magic's going to happen later. But it's worth knowing that this is how he built it.
So some Jedi hacky chart types. That's just what we want in Iron Viz. Mark, I have to come back to you again. I'm seeing some big letters. Tell me something about titles and what you're trying to achieve with these.
So one of the things that Brittany wanted to make sure was the data fam way in the back had no problem seeing the text, so we knew what we were talking about. So we're making our visualizations extremely accessible.
You know, a wise man once told me that the smallest font on your screen should be the same size as the oldest man or oldest person in the room, which is complicated to pass. When I was 21, I didn't believe him. Now I'm 51, I'm totally bought into that. That rule also applies to name badges at conferences, right? You've all been doing the stare, haven't you, this week?
Now, I want to turn over to our judges. Earlier, we saw 2 dark maps. Now, Will, you won last year, but you went with a light map, so are you going to hate on these vizzes?
No. You've got to be able to see the data to understand it. So last year, we had countries, so you had actual quite sizable shapes to see on the screen. But here, this data set's all about cities. So having those small, tiny plots, you've got to have them stand out from the screen. So these dark maps, I love them. The bright colors make it really accessible, having that contrast. So yeah, totally approve of this.
Thank you, Will. Word of advice there from our judges.
Yeah, Alison, actually coming back to you, is Nirosh just putting white squares on white rectangles on his chart? What's happening?
So I'm so glad you came over to me at this moment, because we're about to see something quite exciting, where at the moment, yeah, it's a bit blank. That's not Nirosh.
There we are.
So he's creating some dynamic zones, and he's using containers to build these different layers. But he's about to copy-paste a whole load of containers and duplicate that zone. So it's very quick, but you can do it, and not a lot of people know that you can copy-paste containers.
Yeah.
There we go. A click saved. Now, I'm looking at our clock. It's 9:34, so we're just over halfway through our time. It's flown by, right?
It has.
And for those of you watching in the audience, we want to hear from you, so be sure to use the hashtag #IronViz on social media.
Yeah, actually, also, Taha, I want to come to you. You know, we're seeing great visualizations being built here. Tell me something about Tableau Public, and people who've still maybe not heard about that, could they go find out more?
Absolutely. It's our free platform for anyone to create and share data visualizations. It's where all of these contestants started, and it's frankly where the most amazing work on Tableau happens. People do the most incredible things that frankly we didn't even know were possible in Tableau.
That's great. And how can people get a daily dose of inspiration?
Funny you should ask.
No.
We have something amazing called Viz of the Day. Our staff chooses an amazing, inspiring viz every single day. You can subscribe to it, and it comes straight to your inbox for inspiration.
That's amazing. Everybody go do that. That's cool.
Now, Brittany started off with 420 marks, but it looks like she's cutting that down to just 3 towns. Mark, can you tell us more about how she's going to cut through the noise?
Well, I don't want to have to throw a spoiler alert, but our story is really going to focus on 3 different cities and how they are moving towards net zero. And that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. And I see my hometown of London there. London, give us a cheer.
Oh, I think they were at the re-roll bar till too late last night, if I'm honest. Nina, we've got a lot of maps on screen, right? How's Paul going to take us through that? Is that not too many charts?
So Paul's actually showing you, at this stage, he's just putting all of his visualizations on the dashboard, and he's also going to take great advantage of the dynamic zone visibility feature to show and hide them at the right time in his storytelling.
Yeah. Oh, Alison, is Nirosh drawing the Luxor Hotel? What's going on there?
He's not drawing the Luxor Hotel.
Oh,
no,
okay.
that didn't fit in with this data set. But this is the ternary chart I was mentioning earlier. So with this triangle plot, you've got 3 axes, and the critical parts in this viz are the 3 points of the triangle. So these will each represent a key data point in the story.
Nice. 3 axes. I didn't bring my 3D goggles.
No, me neither.
Now, I want to turn over to our judge, Will, again. There was a mention there of dynamic zone visibility. It's a relatively new feature for Tableau, and obviously you didn't have it when you were up on stage last year. How have you been using it since?
I really wish I had it last year. It's so good. So you have this option of these containers that you can now open and close using a parameter. So this fits into a lot of other functionality like parameter actions. It's really helpful for fundamentally, like a lot of what we're trying to do here is we have a lot of data to show, but we don't want to overburden our audience with all this information. So using these dynamic zones, you can actually control the content on screen at any given time. So you can always drill in a bit further to see a bit more. It's been something I've been playing around with. I've got a little bit of content coming on it soon, so watch this space. But yeah, it's really interesting and a really great feature.
That's great.
Teaser. Love a plug.
Yeah, are you plugging your blog?
It'll be on Tableau Public.
It'll be on Tableau Public. Well, what a great destination. Yeah, I mean, for those of you new to Tableau, maybe this is your first year, there are many different ways to tell stories in these visualizations. So 2 of our contestants look like they're using parameter actions. Not quite sure how Nirosh is going to do it, but that's something to explore. But actually, Mark, Brittany is using another way to tell the story. What's happening there?
Yeah, so going around that accessibility idea, we're going to use story points to really tell this story in a focused manner. It's an underused feature. Where's the cheers?
I love me a good story point.
Now, Nina, I want to turn to you. We saw Paul, I think, float over one of his marks, and we saw another viz appear. Tell us what that feature is.
I'm going to talk about Paul's title page, actually.
Oh,
Chana.
Go for it.
Because that's an important point to be made here. So first, Paul really connected with this image, which I know you're not seeing right now. It'll click away in a minute. It will reveal the full picture to you. But really, we're talking about environmental sustainability. So the solar panels against the sunrise is something that Paul found really moving. And the second thing is, this being his title page for the Viz, he's really thinking about when you see this visualization on Tableau Public, he wanted to make sure that without him there telling you his story, that you're given enough context and information to explore for yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nina.
Alison, Nirosh is not using a standard color and size legend here. What's happening at the bottom of the screen?
Oh, yes. So that particular legend is a combined legend for the color and size. So this is a nice shortcut, space-saving technique to make it really clear what the marks are.
You know what? I'd love to see that feature in Tableau. Francois, can we combine size and color legends in one go? Ryan, you make it happen, right?
Now, we have just got over 4 minutes left on the countdown clock, and I want to remind you, these guys aren't just here for fun and games. There is $10,000 on the line here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be, we want to know what you're thinking on Iron Viz Plus. And don't forget, you're going to be able to see and congratulate these guys at Data Night Out tonight. They are the celebrities. In fact, there are other celebrities, right? Sophie Tucker doing a live data set.
I think you mean live DJ set.
I'd rather see them do a data set, actually.
That could be fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'd like to see them on stage using Tableau.
I think our Vizzers kind of look like DJs up there, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Working the decks,
they're rocking it.
working the data.
Look, in fact, Nirosh has got his... He's got the
bopping along.
Speaking
of Nirosh, he's bringing out a sheet per word. Now, I think we can do that with text boxes, Alison, so why all the clicks?
You can do some things with text boxes, but this you can't do. So Nirosh is using each of these segments in the title as an activation switch for each dynamic zone he will expose. So it will be revealed how he uses it in the story, but there is definitely a purpose why he would go to this effort in Iron Viz.
Keeping your cards close to your chest.
Everything has a purpose. Taha, you see thousands of visits all the time on Tableau Public. What's some of the cool elements you've seen today?
I'm really interested in the different elements they're using to tell stories. So I saw that Brittany was using these story points, which is a classic element. I've also seen glimpses of different sliders in, I think, Paul's and Nirosh's. So super curious to see how this plays out.
All right, brilliant. How about you, Jock? What's catching your attention?
So I'm a big fan of animation for telling stories. Animation, however, is extremely powerful, and so you have to use it really, really effectively. And I noticed that Paul has got a really great animation. At least I'll find out when I hear his story, but it looks really, really good.
And as we were talking to our judges and Alison, just behind you, I saw a high five happen. Mark, is Brittany done?
Whoa!
It's part of the playbook. So I like to get my contestants to finish with a little bit of time to spare so we can cross our I's, dot our T's, do all the stuff that really doesn't make sense. No, seriously, we want to make sure that everything is perfect. We've got our color legends kind of buried in titles. There's a lot of really intricate things that she's done here. And I'm really excited for the final minute to pass and we can share this story.
All right, it looks like Nina, look, Nina's not finished, Paul's finished. Is that right, Paul? You sure everything is done? You chilled? Wow.
It's a risky strategy.
I think
and I
so.
want to go to Will, because you were here last year. What are these last crucial moments like?
So what happens is you generally pick up on the audience, you pick up on that energy, you go a bit faster than you ever practiced before, and now you've got like this extra time. You think, have I missed something? Is there something I'm missing? Am I going to do an interaction and it's not going to work?
Oh, Nirosh has done too.
We've got...
Oh my God, you can chill out. Oh, should we just relax?
We've got a breather, but our countdown clock is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Woohoo! Absolutely amazing what you have all done in just 20 minutes. To those of you tuning in on Salesforce Plus, get yourselves on social. Let's see those hashtag IronViz comments.
What an incredible 20 minutes that was. I'm out of breath.
You're exhausted.
I'm exhausted, and I wasn't even competing.
Yeah.
But it's not over yet for our contestants. They now have up to 3 minutes to present their vizzes. Pay close attention, everyone, as voting to choose the fan favorite will open up once they finish. First up, Paul, take it away.
Thanks, Archana. Humanity is on thin ice, and that ice is melting fast. That's how the Secretary General summarized a recent UN report that warns of a growing climate gap between what we're doing and what's needed to prevent harm to future generations. Recommends that cities shift to renewable energy as soon as possible, optimally wind or solar power. So here's a question. How many cities are already running on mostly renewable energy? The answer is at least 223. I say at least because this data is all self-reported via questionnaire from a nonprofit called the CDP. And the good news is that the number of cities submitting data more than doubled over these 6 years, with almost 600 in 2021. However, there are almost 3,000 cities of medium size or larger who could be submitting, which means almost 80% of them, we're not seeing their data, and so we're only seeing the very tip of this iceberg. But let's explore the data we do have. First, where are these 223 cities? Well, about half of them are in Latin America, where Brazil is the leading country with 48. Yeah, Brazil. US is next with 26, which is about 3 times the combined total of the top 3 cities in EMEA, and almost double the whole of the APAC region. Here's a better look at our green cities, but what sort of green are they? Are they mostly wind-powered or solar-powered? Turns out, most of them are hydro-powered, more than 80%. So why the recommendation for wind and solar going forward? Well, thanks to recent improvements in cost and efficiency, they're both now cheaper than fossil fuels across most of the world, which makes them our best hope for the future. But right now, they power only 20 or so of our 223 cities. And if we split this map in two, we'll see about 15 wind-powered cities on top and only a handful running on solar below. We need to add hundreds of cities to these maps to close the climate gap. But which cities? Well, here we can use the power of NASA. Literally, the power of NASA, because they have a branch called the Prediction of Worldwide Energy Resources, and using 6 years of their daily weather data for this global mix of 100 cities, we're going to narrow down to the best wind candidates on top and solar below. We're going to raise the temperature threshold here and the wind speed here by clicking this slider, which will narrow down the cities on each map accordingly. For example, down here on the solar map, we'll see the frosty cities of Northern Europe start to disappear, while up here on the wind map, we'll see those same frosty cities outlast most of the others. And these are our final candidates because these are the levels at which wind turbines start to become viable and solar panels operate most efficiently. The wind candidates end up quite focused in the north, not unlike the map of current wind-powered cities, but the big takeaway is the abundance of solar opportunity around the world. Also worth noting, lucky cities like Cape Town and Buenos Aires, who are on both maps, and so double the opportunity to save the planet. Speaking of saving the planet, what can you do, Data Fam? Well, if you live near any of these cities, you can connect with your local politicians, let them know they've won the global weather lottery, and the potential prize is cheaper energy and better health for current and future generations. And if they've already started their data journey, please ask them to send their data to the CDP using this link right here so we can all celebrate their progress and reveal some more of this iceberg. Thank you.
Great job, Paul. Congratulations. Incredible stuff. Judges, let's go to you for a question. Taha, do you have a question for Paul?
Sure. I am absolutely astounded at how much opportunity there is in these candidate cities. There are so many more, for example, in the solar power side than there are actual cities using solar power. Tell me, Paul, a little bit more about your choice in having 4 maps on a single view here, rather than a single map.
Yeah, it's an interesting question because dynamic zone visibility gives you so many layout options to play around with. In the end, I decided I needed 2 maps to highlight the different shapes of the wind and the solar cities. And I also wanted to do a sort of a side-by-side comparison of actual versus potential. So on the left-hand side, we have the reality of actual cities submitting their data, while on the right, we kind of have a glimpse of the potential future.
Beautiful work. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Taha. Next up to present is Brittany.
Targeting net zero. Can we tell who's doing well? Today we'll use data from the Carbon Data Project to examine progress towards net zero. What does this data tell us? Net zero doesn't mean no emissions, but emissions are offset through different strategies. Reducing emissions comes not only from switching to different energy sources, but also the use of efficient vehicles and different building strategies. Energy storage, emission storage, involves storing carbon dioxide deep underground, and offsetting emissions includes everything from improving airline flight paths to using more energy-efficient light bulbs. These cities are all reporting progress towards their goals. We should be able to use this data to see how well they're doing, right? Let's take a closer look at 3 cities who are all reporting various levels of progress. Why is Vancouver only reporting 15% to goal? Well, their goal isn't to switch to renewable energy. Based on this chart, they've already done that. Their goal now is to reduce carbon pollution from powering buildings and public and private transportation. But retrofitting buildings and building more public transportation is difficult for a city with geographic constraints and a growing population. So the 15% doesn't reflect poor performance, but a realistic take on how they're making progress towards different goals. London's making headway. We can see that their use of fossil fuels is decreasing. Their approach to net zero includes using energy from nuclear and hydrogen. But nuclear doesn't have the same popular support as other renewable energy sources. Hydrogen is also controversial. It has lower emissions, but requires steam for production, which often comes from fossil fuels. London's making strides, but these will take time to pay off, assuming that government and public support will remain for cleaner energy. Now we take a look at Mexico City. Something looks weird here. The math isn't mathing as we look at their energy mix. How in the world can they be reporting 100% to goal if this is what their fossil fuel usage looks like? Well, digging into the reporting goals, we find they have made progress in certain areas, like switching light bulbs. But we also find that their targets have shifted, which makes it easier to report progress that looks good, but hides the fact that they're mostly reliant on fossil fuels. It would have been easy today to tell you a story about who's doing well, but it would have been misleading. The cities we focused on today all have unique challenges as they try to go for net zero. Using a single percentage to try and show progress just reduces the complexity of the issue. The incomplete nature of the data set and inconsistent goal setting makes this issue too complex to explain in the 3 minutes I have, which is rapidly coming to an end. So we can't tell who's doing well just by looking at targets. But the good news is we can still ask questions. All of this data is freely available. Look for your city's plans online, and if you don't see it, ask for it. I encourage you to dig into the data yourself, stay informed, and share your voice.
Congratulations, Brittany. Thank you so much. I'm going to go to Jock for a question for Brittany.
So, Brittany, could you describe a little bit more about your choice of colors? In particular, I noticed that the waterfall was reusing the same color. So, yeah.
When trying to pick out colors for this, I decided to steal like an artist. As we dug through the different PDFs of all these different cities' plans, we noticed the same colors representing sustainability popping up over and over again. So I thought, why not use them for this presentation?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
And last but not least, Nirosh, it's your turn to present. Take us home.
The world is changing. And one of the most talked about changes is that of our climate. Using data, I have looked to explore a simple question. Are we doing enough to create a sustainable future? First, let's look into a frequently cited factor in climate change, temperature. To the left, we have a map that shows 100 cities across the globe. The warmer the temperature, the deeper red the color of the mark. To the right, I've created an anomaly metric, which will show for each city the number of times for which the daily recorded temperature exceeds the monthly average of that city by at least 1.5 degrees centigrade. This is the warming limit set by the UN Paris Agreement. As I run the time lapse, what we can see is a steep rise in the number of these anomalies, particularly in the Northern Hemisphere. Indeed, Europe was experiencing the most mildest winter on record. So too in Asia, where in April and May, temperatures regularly exceeded 40 degrees. Summer drags into September, and so too the temperature anomalies continue to rise. And by the end of the year, what we will see is that it is the subarctic region that is of the most concern. Most of these cities experienced at least 160 temperature anomalies. And across the whole data set, 11,000 anomalies were registered. Our planet is getting warmer. So what can we do about this? Well, reducing CO2 emissions that come about by burning fossil fuels is a great place to start. And we can use this same weather data to guide renewable energy strategies. In this section, each of the cities has a unique weather profile visualized by the 4 jitter plots. This profile is used in the ternary chart to tell us which of 3 renewable energy sources is most suited to the selected city, either wind, solar, or hydropower. Let's look at Bogota in South America as an example. Between the years of 2015 and 2020, Bogota had 0 clear days, very little wind, but rain was well above the median. In short, weather conditions in Bogota lend themselves really well to generating hydropower. And this is exactly what Bogota has done. And in doing so, they lead the way in using nature to create a sustainable future. We should all look to follow this example. Our world may be getting warmer, but by focusing on generating renewable energy that complements our own weather and our own climates, there is still time to make a difference. It can be done. We can do enough.
Nirosh, congratulations. Oh, you can all begin to relax at last. Will, if you want to ask a question to Nirosh.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Nirosh. I love the animation, as always. I saw your charts. You started off with quite simple charts. You had that dot map, you had that line chart, and then next you started diving into more complicated charts, that jitter plot, that ternary chart. Can you just explain to me why your choices behind these chart choices?
Sure. I mean, it's funny you say that, Will. Fundamentally, my whole dashboard was a play on the scatter plot. I just tried to create some illusion, some mystery by just riffing on what you can do by simply beginning by dragging one measure into the row shelf and one into the columns. I like simplicity, and in doing simple things, you can really expose as much of Tableau as possible to kind of create different things that give the illusion of a chart, but indeed is something else.
Fantastic. Thank you, Neil.
All right. Okay, and now for a few final comments from our judges. Taha, one of the criteria is storytelling. What are your thoughts on what you've just seen?
Well, one of the big things I look for is whether the contestant is asking a very clear question. And to be honest, I saw a very clear question for every single contestant. So the other thing I'm looking for is how they are guiding the viewer towards a profound insight. And I think I'll be focusing on that when I look at my judging.
Great, thanks. Jock, tell me something about the design aspect of the Iron Viz scores today. What have they done well?
So yes, the design's a very important part of taking a person through from to a specific finding. And so one of the things that we look at is the choice of colors. Are axes properly labeled? Because you have to really understand, how the data is connected to the world, because data is very abstract. And so both the images and the labels are really important for that.
Thanks. And finally, Will, you like the nitty-gritty of analytics, so tell me, have the contestants done some great analysis?
Absolutely. I mean, this is a problem we've got to solve, and we threw a horrible data set at them, full of holes, but they've gone through in different ways and found their own story out of that, dived in deeper or shallower just to bring that to life. So, yeah, really interested in how they've done that, the analysis they brought out, as well as the performance side of what they've brought back into Tableau. So.
Great. All right, well, thank you, judges. Now, before we turn it over to the judges to calculate their scores, I'm going to give the Suvizers 30 seconds each to make the case for their contestant. Nina, what have you got to say for Paul?
Yeah, so for over 2 decades, Tableau has been helping people see and understand data. And for 14 of those years, Iron Viz has been inspiring and daring you to dream about what you can do with data. Now, most of you wouldn't have known that Paul is brand new to Tableau. Most of the things that he'd shown you today, he'd learned and applied for the very first time. His journey here has been a matter of months, if not weeks. I think you've spoken for me, but I think he's really shown you what a ton of creativity, a load of hard work, a whole lot of heart, with just a little bit of time can do. Now, if that's not what Iron Viz is about, I don't know what is. So that's why Paul is my Iron Viz winner of 2023.
Oh, I like it, yes. Well, Mark, are you going to let that stand? How about Brittany? What have you got to say?
Analysis, design, storytelling. From an analysis perspective, Brittany dove deep into the data, into the PDFs that were actually linked, where she found this inconsistency of reporting of goals. That truly is the story here. Analysis, check. From a design aspect, she presented clear visuals that gave us clear insights without overloading the canvas and choosing the right chart type at the right time. Design, check. From a storytelling perspective, by using story points, she was able to walk us through in a very focused way, so at every point of her talk, you knew exactly what she was talking about. Storytelling, check. Storytelling, analysis, design, that looks like a W to me. Brittany!
All right, fantastic. All right, Alison, this is your moment. What have you got for Nirosh?
Well, Nirosh, he's a really techie guy. The things that we saw today just show what he can do with Tableau. He showed us some things with brand new features, with features that have been around for ages. That line chart, Will called it a line chart. That was a stacked bar chart. It's just amazing. It's been great to watch him work, and he's super creative too. So bringing that all together into a story, he was really able to infuse soul so that we could really connect with the message. And that is That's my reason why he is my Iron Viz champion.
The soul of data viz. We love it. Thank you.
So now we've heard from our contestants and their sous vizzes, as well as our judges. Now, our judges are busy choosing the Iron Viz 2023 champion, but we need your help in choosing this year's fan favorite. And it's not just about the audience here in Vegas. Everyone, whether you're tuning in live or on demand, you can take part.
Yeah, voting for that is going to start in a moment, but first, I have to read out some legal terms and conditions. Here we go. There is a limit of 1 vote per person. Standard text messaging rates apply according to your cellular provider plan. Poll Everywhere does not charge for text message responses. Audience members will not incur long-distance texting charges, but other charges may apply. The US and Canada text voting number is 37607, and the worldwide text voting number is +1 747 444 3548.
Well done. You nailed it. And speaking of worldwide, voting is going to be open until 11 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow, Thursday, May 11th. That's right. Starting shortly, everyone across the globe will have the opportunity to vote for their fan favorite.
But I'm going to ask Chandra, if the voting closes tomorrow, I'm going to a party at 5 o'clock. How does that work?
Don't worry, the fan favorite trophy is going to be awarded tomorrow at the community-led Vizzies Award Show tomorrow and announced on Tableau socials. If you're here in person, you can catch the Vizzies at stage 3 in the Content Pavilion tomorrow at 12 p.m.
Yeah, another award ceremony means another shiny jacket. I can't wait.
Sure,
yeah.
Why not? And we have another treat for you this year. We will be publishing all 3 of our finalist vizzes to Tableau Public at tabsoft.co/IV23 by 5:15 Pacific time today. And they will be up for you to explore until voting closes.
Yeah, make a Tableau Public profile while you're there, and remember to subscribe to Viz of the Day. Okay, we've told you all about it. Voting by text is now open. Woohoo! Vote once. Remember, everything's got to be done by 11 a.m. tomorrow. That's Thursday, May the 5th. If it's after that time and you're watching on demand, too late. The voting closed.
If you think Paul should win, text
IV Paul, that's IVPAUL.
And if you think Brittany should win,
IV Brittany, IVBRITTANY.
And if you think Nirosh should win, text
IV Nirosh, IVNIROSH.
Now, with the judges busy deliberating and tallying up their scores, we now have the chance to talk to some vizzers who've already won an Iron Viz competition this year.
Another one, yes, made up entirely of students from universities and academic institutions across the world. Let's welcome to the stage the winners of the 2023 Iron Viz Student Edition.
From Monash University in Melbourne, Australia, Jenny Nguyen. From Technological University in Dublin, Ireland, Connor Bolger. And from Northeastern University in Boston, Massachusetts, say hello to Karolina Grodzinska. Welcome. Now, Jenny, what inspired you to learn Tableau and enter the student Iron Viz competition?
I've started learning Tableau last year in one of my classes, which made me eager to learn more. And then 4 months later, when I found out about the competition via LinkedIn, I then thought to myself, oh, this is such a great opportunity for me to see where my current skills are at, as well as having something to do during the holiday. Yeah, and with that, I just decided to enter. That's it.
That's incredible, just 4 months. Now, Connor, what do you enjoy most about data visualization, and how has using Tableau changed the way you work with data?
I think for me, it has to be the data storytelling with Tableau and the power of the tool for that. So even just to give the example of the student Iron Viz, we were given 2 data sets, one for education data and one for demographic data. And we were given the challenge of coming up with a dashboard that shows how education metrics impact on demographics. And to be honest, at the start, I was stuck. I didn't know where to go with the challenge. But I think the power of Tableau is the ability to really quickly iterate through multiple different dashboarding options and come up with a story that works. And for me, it was a unique story about my own country, Ireland, and I was able to use that as the basis for the dashboard.
That's incredible. Thank you. Now, Karolina, how has your experience with Tableau impacted your education and career?
it actually impacted my career greatly. So I started learning Tableau through various data visualization challenges, which really helped me build up my Tableau public portfolio. And then 2 years ago, I was starting grad school, and I really wanted to get a teaching assistant position. So I was applying for a data visualization course, and I was the only student that actually sent a link to Tableau Public. So, you know. So, yes, I got the job on the spot. And a week ago, I actually started a new position as a business intelligence analyst in a data management company. So this is really relevant, the whole team for this year's Iron Viz.
Congratulations.
Well, that's inspiring stories, right? Congratulations to all three of you. And I don't know, hopefully you'll be competing on this big stage next year, perhaps, in San Diego. Yes. Let's give it up for the next generation of data analysts, the winners of the 2023 student edition. I don't know about you, Archana. This is getting me worn out with witnessing the future of data visualization.
I know, I'm totally with you. Today's been an outstanding showdown highlighting the power of Tableau by some of its finest practitioners.
Yeah, absolutely. A huge thank you to our judges, to my co-host Archana, thank you, to our supervisors and our contestants for a dazzling data display.
And thank you, Andy, for taking me under your wing as a first-time host, as well as a big shout-out to all of our sponsors that helped make today possible.
Yeah, and thank you to everybody for being here in Las Vegas and in Iron Viz Stadium today. We hope to see you all participating in the 24 Iron Viz competition. Remember, win or learn, you cannot lose.
Now, judges, have you decided?
Woohoo! It's time to find out who the winner is. I guess I need an envelope and a trophy. Ooh. Always a moment of, oh, phew.
Yay!
Thank you, Alyssa.
Thank you, Alyssa.
Contestants. Are we ready? Yes. It is time. Here we go. I think you're all winners. In third place, with a $2,000 cash prize and $1,000 to their charity, it is Nirosh.
That leaves Brittany and Paul. One of you will be this year's 2023 Iron Viz champion. Now, in second place, ready to take home $5,000 and another $2,000 going to charity, is Brittany!
That means you, Paul from Australia, are the 2023 Iron Viz champion! Congratulations.
Congratulations. Paul, you're going to be taking home $10,000 for yourself, and Tableau will be sending another $5,000 to the Nature Conservancy, your charity of choice. How does it feel?
Oh, just incredible. That's my partner making all the noise in the front row there. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you to everybody who supported me along the way. It's just been an incredible journey, and I'm just incredibly grateful. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Absolutely, really well done, Paul.
Thank you.
Now, before we end the show, just don't remember to vote for your fan favorite. Go check out the Vizzies tomorrow to find out who wins. And until next year, keep vizzing!